Spider-Man 3's Daredevil rumor has officially been addressed. The Walking Dead and Fast and Furious movies can't go to theaters, and there's lots more Wonder Woman coming to the DCEU. What's up, Comic Book Nation? BD here with your second printing of the week's biggest issues at Comicbook.com, and it seems like we may finally be out of the everything is canceled woods and can finally start feeling like, hey, I can look forward to stuff again. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Except in one case. AMC Theaters and Regal Cinemas got beef with Universal Studios. Universal dropped Trolls World Tour on digital, and the theaters are so mad that all 13 people who were really eager to see it got to download it instead of buy tickets. Since Universal isn't totally swearing off the idea of just releasing movies straight to home theaters going forward, the movie theaters are clapping back and boycotting the studio in what is arguably one of the most petty and stupid arguments I've ever seen. This is a lose-lose. This would mean Fast and Furious, No Time to Die, and even the Rick Grimes Walking Dead movie, if it ever happens, won't play in those theater chains, but it also means those theater chains won't get box office dollars from playing those movies. If I want to see those movies, I'm not going to say, the local AMC isn't playing it, let's see something else instead. I'm going to drive the extra 5 miles to Frankie's Family Film House and see the movie. Speaking of movies, Black Widow would be in theaters right now if Earth wasn't closed down, but if you think about it, in another timeline where things don't totally suck, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is the Marvel movie which would have opened in theaters this weekend. Think for a second. Think of all the news the past year. You'll remember.
I remember everything.
Speaking of Guardians, Sylvester Stallone and Michael Rosenbaum are expecting to return to their Guardians of the Galaxy characters, the OG Guardians, Martin X and Starhawk, but not necessarily in Guardians Volume 3.
You know, when James told me about it, he says, hey, this is something that could be in, it's not a huge part in the first one, but you're in the end credits and there's a good chance you're going to come back. So I was like, of course, yeah, let's do it.
One more Marvel bit before we move on. Daredevil, definitely not in Spider-Man 3. Charlie Cox himself talked to our Adam Barnhart ahead of the Daredevil quarantine watch party and said the theory about Matt Murdock being the attorney who helps Peter Parker after his identity was revealed by Mysterio is definitely not true. He even thinks Marvel Studios is just going to totally recast his Daredevil character. So that really totally sucks, but at least he's not the Punisher who Joe Russo joked was on the receiving end of the Hulk throwing a bench after Natasha died. On the DC front, Patty Jenkins revealed she not only has plans for Wonder Woman 3, but she also has plans for a spin-off movie about the Amazon warriors who accompany Diana, which hits theaters before Wonder Woman 3 would hit theaters. She won't direct the spin-off, but she will finish the trilogy, which, for whatever reason, she also had to clarify, is not a reboot from the first Wonder Woman movie, because apparently somebody thought that.
Really? Wow.
What is rebooted, though, apparently, is Deathstroke. Joe Manganiello's tenure as the DC mercenary only lived as long as one post-credit scene by the sound of director Gareth Evans' tune and the DC movie release slate. Evans revealed he was in fact attached to the movie and he was going to make it quite visceral by the sound of it, but it has gone by the wayside like most everything Zack Snyder set up. Love it or hate it, it would have been cooler to see Zack Snyder's original vision through than what we did end up with, although the upcoming slate now looks fire.
Right on.
The Last of Us is coming out on June 19th, only on PS4, because the whole plot leaked online and everybody hated it. Not gonna talk about that plot, because I don't want to get into spoilers.
Get the f*** out my face with that.
And finally, Diamond expects new comics to start shipping to stores around the country this month. The major publishers won't be dropping any new books this Wednesday, but as things slowly start to reopen around the world, I do encourage you to safely but heavily support your local comic shop. After all, that's why we're all here. I'll leave you with this image you've certainly already seen. Doctor Strange as Iron Man, a reveal exclusively on the Comicbook.com Twitter account dropped by Stephen McFeely during our quarantine watch party of Avengers Infinity War. It didn't happen in the movie, but it happened in our hearts now. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. That's your second printing of the week's biggest issues at Comicbook.com. Make sure you're following me on Instagram at BrandonDavisBD because Cinco de Mayo is coming up and you never know which set visit I might slip up and spoil after some margaritas. I sign NDAs, don't tell them if I do. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to turn the post notifications on because we're working hard to bring you great content. We love your feedback and we want you to watch it. For more, head over to Comicbook.com. I'm BD. I'll see you there.